Hello, I am Lisa Papa Alpha to Lima Sierra. Welcome to the second session of YOTA Online. The first session was about 1 month ago and was watched by about 600 unique live viewers from all over the world. This session with main topic Youth Contesting Program is available online on YouTube. The team has been working hard to get another interesting topic available for today, which is Train the Trainer. The main driver behind this is Monty, Oscar Echo 3 Victor Victor uniform. In YOTA summer camps, we organize sessions about Train the Trainer. Young participants will learn about how to organize an amateur radio event for other young persons in their home country or society. In today's session, several young participants will talk about how they organize amateur radio events for young people. This is very interesting to listen to, and you will learn more about them. So for today, I would say enjoy and listen carefully to the young people who are going to tell about their experiences. Hello, I am Lisa.
So hello, also from me. My name is Phil, Delta Kilo 6 Sierra Papa from Germany. Thanks for watching the second episode of YOTA Online. And we will begin with the first slide here. If you have any questions throughout this event, just let us know on Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube. We are monitoring these channels. If you have any questions regarding anything YOTA related, just let us know and we try to answer them in the session. So at first, we're gonna talk about what is on the agenda today. Lisa already told us that we are talking about the Train the Trainer program at first. So this is our main topic. But to all the new viewers, I would like to talk about why YOTA Online and the event circumstances at first. Then I will introduce you to our team and our guests today. We will have a Q&A, question and answer session for the main topic as well. Again, the Train the Trainer program. Then we will answer follow-up questions, which we received during the last few days. We will have another prize draw, so be prepared to sign up for this as well. And then the session is closing again. So let's start with this. At first, why YOTA Online? So why YOTA Online? Two main factors for this event. Of course, everybody knows due to this COVID-19 worldwide pandemic, all planned YOTA events until September 2020 had to be canceled or postponed already. So we wanted to make something online for all the youngsters worldwide, as well as that lots of youngsters want to join YOTA activities each year. So we want to create an interactive basis or a format to gather all these youngsters on a regular monthly basis and show what we do and what we like to do. Including some other interesting stuff regarding YOTA. So the event circumstances are as follows. We are open for anybody around the world online. And this is the most important thing, we are free. So you don't have to pay to watch us. We are talking about specific YOTA related topics, as I told you, with a Q&A session. So don't hesitate, just type in your questions and we try to answer them within this YOTA online event or later online. We will have a prize draw at the end, so we will come to this in a few minutes. We will have special prizes for loyal viewers after several YOTA online events, so just stay tuned for this one. We will have something big, which will be announced soon. The event itself is lasting around 1 to 1.5 hours. So not too long, not too short. And yeah, let's start with it. So the next slide's gonna be about who we are. We are a working group within the International Amateur Radio Union, IARU Region 1 Youth Working Group. So we are consisting out of youngsters from Germany, from Austria, from Finland, from the Czech Republic, from Belgium and the Netherlands. So we are quite multinational and we like what we do. So hopefully you will enjoy today's YOTA online event. Our guests today, as we are talking about the Train the Trainer program, will be also multinational. We have invited today Ahmed, 3 Victor 1 Bravo from Tunisia in Africa. We have invited Mohammed, 7 X-ray 3 Tango Lima from Algeria. And from Europe, we have Gustav, Sierra Alpha 7 Golf Golf Oscar, who is from Sweden. So as you got to know now, I used the phonetics to get the call signs to you. So this is an international alphabet where all this is more understandable on the shortwave bands. So 3 Victor 1 Bravo 7 X-ray 3 Tango Lima and Sierra Alpha 7 Golf Golf Oscar. So now we are going over to the prize draw. Let's explain what this is all about. So the prize draw itself, we will have YOTA mugs, so coffee mugs or tea mugs or what you want to use it for, and a YOTA hoodie for the big prize for today. How can you participate? It's totally easy. Fill in our Google form, which will be linked any second under our streams on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube, or just scan this QR code here. If you don't have a call, use your first name on the first question in this form. And please also leave us your email address so we can contact you for shipping details and the size for the hoodie, etc. We will select the winners at the end of the session today, live during our YOTA online event. So yeah, now I will hand over to the main topic today. What is Train the Trainer? What is this program? So please, Monty in Austria, go ahead.
Yes, perfect. Can you see my screen? So, okay, today the main topic is Train the Trainer. And some of you may already know this. Okay, don't have my screen. So, perfect. Okay, so today the main topic, what is Train the Trainer? Some of you might already know Train the Trainer if you have participated in YOTA events. Just a reminder, we will have a Q&A, question and answer at the end. So if you have any questions regarding Train the Trainer, just comment under the live stream and we will answer your questions at the end. So Train the Trainer is part of the YOTA program. It was established in 2018, starting at the camp in South Africa. And since then, it has grown really quickly. And now we have 26 countries in Region 1 participating. So the central idea of Train the Trainer is youngsters for youngsters. What does that mean? During the YOTA camps and all the other activities which YOTA has been doing, we found that young people are the best at getting more youngsters interested in amateur radio. So it's most fun to do amateur radio together with other young people. And that's why it's the best people to get more youngsters interested are young people. And what we aim to do with Train the Trainer, like the name says, is we want to teach youngsters how to do that, how to get more young people interested in our hobby. So how do we do that? There are 2 parts to Train the Trainer. First of all, we have the summer camps and the sub-regional camps. And second, we have the reports. So at the camps, the participants are taught skills and given ideas. And then they can go home to their countries, to their member societies, and use what they learned to get more youngsters interested in amateur radio. And the reports, every 2 months, each youth team submits a report, and this report is then published on the YOTA website. And the idea is that youngsters can learn from each other. But I will talk about that in a little bit more detail. So, at the YOTA camps, the workshops at the YOTA camps are specifically designed to teach youngsters how to teach other new youngsters. So people who are not yet really into amateur radio, maybe some friends, how to get them interested in the hobby, how to get them started doing some activities in amateur radio. So for example, it might be building a very simple kit, doing some soldering, and the idea is that after the camp, youngsters can go home and reproduce this workshop or activity with other young people. At the camps, we also have presentations by youngsters about the youth activities they have done and loads of other things. You will see some presentations like this today. And what's really important is we have a lot of time for discussion. So every youngster, every team can bring their ideas to the table and inspire each other, give each other ideas, and exchange experiences. So the reports, each youth team, so that means each member society, submits a report every 2 months. These are then posted on the YOTA website. On the website, each country has their own sub-page where you can see all the reports. And everybody can go to this website, read the reports, see what's going on, and get some ideas. What's the purpose of these reports? Why do we do this? The reports are a way to write down the goals and plans of the youth team. So this is the idea is that we motivate youngsters to make plans for the future, what they want to do, what kind of activities they want to do, what are they aiming at. And the reports are a good way to write this down and make some real plans for the future. Everybody can read the reports of other youth. Okay, sorry, we had some technical issues there, so we were offline for a second, but we're back. And yeah, hopefully it doesn't happen again. Yeah, the trainer reports, everybody can read them online, and you can get some ideas and experiences from the other youth teams from the other countries, and learn from each other. And also something important is that having to write these reports is also a bit of motivation to keep going and to keep organizing some activities. So what are the reports about? What kind of things do the youngsters write about? Well, it's about two things. First of all, what you have done in the past. So what activities have you done? Did you achieve what you were aiming for? What went wrong? What did not go as planned, or what went well? Which activities worked well? Which activities did not work as well? And the second part of the reports is what you will do in the future. So there we think about, okay, what do you want to do until the next report? So in 2 months, which activities do you want to organize? What do you want to do? What are you aiming for? What do you want to do in the next year? So that's a little bit more long term. Yeah, what maybe as a regional camp, that's a bigger thing to plan. So that would be a more long-term planning. And then what's the long-term goal? We also want to think about, okay, what's the goal? Maybe once you get some more youngsters together, a larger group, maybe then you can do some other activities which you couldn't do before. Thoughts like this. So it's all about thinking about what you did, how it could be improved, and what you can do in the future. What's the goal of all of this? Why do we do this? Trainer is part of the overall YOTA strategy to get more young people interested in amateur radio. And to do this, Trainer teaches youngsters fun and engaging ways to get more young people interested in the hobby. And it keeps the youth teams motivated to organize activities. Because the problem with without Train the Trainer was that we met once a year at the summer camps, but in between that there wasn't a lot of communication between the youngsters, and some people were very motivated, other people were less motivated. And Train the Trainer allows the youngsters to connect, to talk to each other, to exchange ideas, and also keeps them motivated to keep doing things with youngsters. So what can you do? If you're not participating yet in Train the Trainer, if you want to take part in youth activities in your country, or you want to organize them but don't know anybody from your member society, you can email me, trainthetrainer@hamyota.com, really simple email address, and I will try to connect you with somebody in your country, or we will try to connect you to the youth coordinator of your member society. Yeah, if your member society does not take part in Train the Trainer yet, and you can see that on the website, then you can contact your youth coordinator, or if you don't know who that is, if you don't know who the youth coordinator is, you can contact me, trainthetrainer@hamyota.com, and I will try to connect you to the right person. And yeah, our website, hamyota.com/trainthetrainer. You can go there, you can read the reports. There's also some more information about Train the Trainer. And yeah, everything you have to know is on that website. And if you have any questions, write them in the chat or the comments on the live stream where you're watching. And at the end, we will have a question and answer session. So yeah, you can write your questions on all these platforms. And now we have 3 guests from 3 countries, which were already introduced at the beginning by Philip. And we start off with Algeria. So I hand over the microphone to Mohammed.
Thank you, Monty. Let me try to share my screen on my side, if I can. Or you just keep on with the, so you just keep on with the slides, Philip. Okay, so let me turn on this camera. Okay, guys, I hope you can all see me. I want to talk about how we tackle the YOTA problem. YOTA problem as in getting more youngsters involved in the Hamradio world in Algeria, the 7X land. We went at it like we would go into a war. The first thing is that we attacked it by regions, and we did some precise targeting of youngsters. We worked on a Hamradio definition, a new one, and we tried to maximize the activities as well as distribute leadership. And I will go into these in details one by one. Next slide, please. Okay, so working with region. As you see on the left, there is the map of Algeria, and there are 2 dots in red. The top one is Algiers, the capital, where our member society is, 7X Ray 2, Alpha Romeo Alpha, the amateur radio Algerian, or the Algerian amateur radio, and it is quite alive. So there are a lot of ham radios around. A lot, I mean, in the order of the 50s or 60 ham radio around, as well as the radio club in the town of Lagouat. That is the town I'm from, actually. We have a small radio club there, 7X Ray 3 Whiskey Papa Lima. And I try to focus on those 2 places because there are already people there who can get involved, who can help youth to get going with the hobby. And we plan to actually move from there once we get enough people activating on those zones. We'd go to other regions in order to turn them back on. And as you can see on the right, that is one of the activities that we had in the radio club in the town of Lagouat, where we tried also not only to work on youth, but also on young ladies, because not much of them are actually into the hobby. And that is one of the main goals. Next slide, please. Now, for precise targeting of youngsters. we would eventually we'd like to get everybody on board, but in order to have some activities going on, we need people who actually are first. They want ham radio. They would want ham radio because it's part of their studies or part of their hobbies, and who can later help to train other people. Because what's happening in Algeria is that in the ham radio field, we have very few people who are technically capable. We have very good operators. They do a fine job. But when it comes to setting up an antenna or doing some little electronics repair or creating some sort of electronic design, not much people can actually do that in our country. So we're trying to target electronic students, telecom students from specialized schools and universities in order to have both worlds. So the people who can operate the equipment and people who can repair it, create it, and fiddle with it. Next slide, please. And also we try to work on a new ham radio definition, because in the beginning, I'm going to be honest with you, when somebody introduced ham radio to me, he would say, yeah, it's telecommunication, old people talking to each other over the radio. And I was like, okay, why? There is internet, right? Why would we do that? And then after getting into the YOTA and getting into the TTT, I understood that ham radio is not about that at all. Talking is just a small part of it. A big part of it is a technical aspect. The electronics and the telecommunication technologies that are involved in them. And a lot of ham radios have patents, have research into the fields of electronics and telecommunication technologies, and they are improving upon them. So this is a new definition that I go by with youngsters. I tell them, well, we are a group of people around the world. We work together on improving electronics, telecommunication technologies, and getting everybody connect together. It does involve Wi-Fi, it does involve GSM, not only HF and VHF, but also new technologies that are being used today. Next slide, please. The fourth point is that we wanted to have the maximum number of activities, as much activities as possible, so that we keep the groups together. So we try to have an activity every week in order to stay connected. And usually we try to do activities outside, take the youth, the young people in forests, in beaches, in the middle of nowhere, just to experience an activity together so that we stay together and we stay soldered together as a group. Next slide, please. And we thought of this distribution of leadership. So we have run around a problem that our member society was not meant, the roles were not distributed for a young audience, for young people. So what we did is that we distributed leadership of each group by origin. What it means is that, let's say we have a certain school in a certain place. We see somebody in that school who has the leadership capability, who can actually orient people, who like to teach, who like to give advices. We select that person, we train him to be a trainer, and we let him coordinate with these people. So let's say, for example, I want to call these guys into an event, I coordinate with him so that I avoid having to talk to 1,000 people at once. Only one person would actually talk to those people and get them on board. I think that by this slide, I'm all done. Is it? Yep. So I think now time for questions.
No, the questions are at the end of all the presentations. Thank you very much for your presentation. That was really interesting. Yeah, now we go on to the next presentation. Tunisia, Ahmed, 3 Victor, 1 Bravo.
Hello everyone, my name is Ahmed, 3 Victor 1 Bravo. Today I would like to make a presentation about our activities throughout the years, particularly the ones that involve youth. Before starting the presentation, I'd like to make a short introduction about our association. The Tunisian Amateur Radio Association, ARAD, was established back in 2011 by a group of young Tunisian amateur radio enthusiasts with the main purpose of creating an environment where it is possible to regroup other enthusiasts scattered throughout the country and promote the hobby. It became an official member of the International Amateur Radio Union, IARU, in 2014 and has been the sole representative of Tunisia ever since. Arad's community, essentially made of young individuals with an average age of 25, has been active on various levels and fields of the Hamradio world, such as contesting, DXing, making projects, contributing to scientific projects and research, exposing Tunisians to the hobby, and attracting youngsters. Broadly speaking, spreading the ham spirit. In this presentation, we will be answering one main question: how do we get the youth involved?
So welcome everyone. The title of this presentation is Involving Tunisia's Youth into the Hobby. This presentation was made by me, Ahmed, 3 Victor 1 Bravo, and Majdi, 3 Victor 1 Mike. We hope you like this presentation and you get some ideas on how we are getting things done, and eventually maybe you will get some inspiration from it. So let's get started. So here's a quick summary of what we will be seeing today. We've chosen to speak on 4 different topics, which are the following: promoting and advertising our hobby, diversifying our activities, sustaining our activities, going beyond borders as we call it. We will see more details as we go. And finally, you will get an idea on what we are planning to do for the coming future. So let's start with the first slide here. So in this first slide, we will be seeing promoting and advertising our hobby through schools and universities. In order to get the youth involved in the Hamradio world, we need to make them first aware of its existence. Some get the opportunity to look for it by themselves or by curiosity, but many youngsters do not know what is it all about, or sometimes have some partial knowledge. It is for this reason we try to be present at schools and universities through doing lectures and presentation to students. And this has been proven to be a great way to attract newcomers with us for the last years. Promoting and advertising our hobby through youth gathering and events. We do youth gathering and events throughout the year in one of our club stations. One of these events that I will talk about is YOTA, which is a Scouts event that happens every year on the last weekend of October. For 3 days, around 80 participants get to learn a lot about amateur radio and technology through the workshops and lectures that we offer, like learning basic electronics, building antennas, learning programming, and a lot of other interesting topics. It is more like a YOTA camp, but in a smaller version. These kind of events lets us explore our abilities as trainers, and therefore we gain good experience in setting up such events. Sustaining activities by organizing visits. We always try to set up plans for visiting different places and sites, like broadcasting stations, research labs, technology companies, and so on. For example, we visited a company that was working on launching Tunisia's first satellite into space at the end of 2020. This visit allowed us to get to know more about this project and offer our help in receiving the satellite's telemetry when it's launched. And lately we also did a visit to a research laboratory that was working on space weather on the VLF band. Organizing such visits is always a great thing for us because it is fun and keeps us updated with what's happening around us on a national level. So, sustaining activities by attending regular meetings. One of the key ways of keeping the community active and thriving is through meetings. ARAT members have the habit of organizing various periodic meetings such as the annual meeting, mid-year meeting, monthly meeting, and recently we have been doing Skype meetings because of the corona pandemic. It is through these meetings that members can discuss the hobby and plan for the future. These kind of interactions not only allows us keep the community alive, but also make constructive steps to better understand its needs, to stay up to date and responsive to the changing of expectations. So diversifying our activities by being on the air. We always want to be on the air, whether it be working DX or calling CQ. Being on the air is always fun for us. This allowed the youngsters to strengthen their English skills while having fun at the same time. Diversifying our activities through contesting. Even with our modest setups, every time we do contesting, we generate big pileups, and this is great for us to push our stations to its limits and test our skills at the same time. But we prefer participating in the multi-app category because this way we can work as a team and learn from each other. So contests are a great way for us to learn teamwork. So experimenting and projects. This is one of the main topics we focus on in the association. Every year we try to launch many different projects to work on, for example, satellite tracking station, beverage antennas, phased verticals, antenna arrays, and the list goes on. These kind of projects allows us to put our skills in good use and keep us occupied while we are in our club stations. So what we mean by going beyond borders is we always intend to be active and get involved with the ham radio operators, not just on a national level, but on an international one too. Therefore, we signed a cooperation of agreement with the Algerian Amateur Radio Association ARA back in 2014. Since then, we collaborated on many different levels, like organizing 7X-ray low bands the expedition during the past New Year, which was a huge success for the two of us. And recently, since the start of the quarantine period, we started to co-organize a series of online courses and knowledge sharing sessions for university students. So through this cooperation, we are able to combine our efforts to the development of our amateur radio communities. So beyond the borders also include our participation in the YOTA camps. Our first participation was back in 2015. Since then, we participated 5 times in a row with a different team each time. Here in this slide, you can see the names of the participants. I'm sure some of you will recognize some names here. For us, participating at the YOTA camp is a great opportunity to gain a lot of knowledge and new skills that eventually we will be bringing back home and putting in use with our local community. I'm sure that every other youngster that participated in one of the YOTA camps did the same. For me personally, I had the chance to take part as a member and a team leader in 2 versions of the YOTA camp. The first was in 2016 in Austria, and the second was in 2017 in the UK. These 2 experiences have truly boosted my interest into the hobby and gained me a lot of new ideas and experiences that I will never forget. But most importantly, I gained a lot of good friendships, and I'm sure that this is what YOTA is all about. So here's a list of some of our ideas and plans for the future. We are planning on hosting a sub-regional YOTA camp in Tunisia. We think that this is possible for us, and we have some great ideas for it. And we are thinking on doing more collaboration with ARA, which is the Algerian Amateur Radio Association. We are also planning on starting new radio clubs in universities around Tunisia. This will boost our presence in universities. And we are also thinking on organizing training sessions and courses for our national call sign exam. Doing more the expeditions that includes youngsters, and organizing a Morse code boot camp. That was a list of our ideas and plans. We hope we can achieve it eventually.
With the end of this presentation, I would like to thank the International Amateur Radio Union, IARU, and the Yazmi Foundation for their continuous support and contributions to our activities. And I would like to thank you all for your attention to this presentation, and 73s, see you on the air.
Okay. So that was a very nice presentation. Now we have the next one from Sweden. So I hand over to Gustav.
Thank you very much. And I will share my screen. Oof. Do you see my screen?
Yes, roger that.
Super. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the youth activities in Sweden during the past years. After introducing myself. So I am Gustav, Sierra Alpha 7, Golf Oscar, at the moment also stroke 5, because I live and work in exile in District 5 in Sweden. The Ham Sweden facts are that we are 10 million citizens in the country, and we have 13,600 call signs in this from this 10 million group, and of those 13,600, 4,700 are members of the SSA. So a little more, less than half of the radio amateurs are members of the SSA. This is also the only big organization which or nationally that is an organization that works over the whole country. And the average age of those 4,700 is 64, which is somehow a little more than our youth limit at 26. We are also 6 members in the youth board. So we are 6 members in the youth board of Sweden, and 101 youth members, which then pay annual youth membership. So that's as many people as that are paying, but there are less active youths or youngsters. So it was mentioned before, but to join the youth activities, you start with becoming interested. It's not very hard. It's a very interesting subject. Then you also, if you are not already under 29, you have to become under 29, which is a little bit harder. But it's said that some people have done it. And thereafter, you have to become an SSA member, and then you are done, basically, because if you're paying the annual youth membership, you will get invited to all of the youth activities. And I think that applies to all of the other membership countries as well, somehow. So we ask ourselves, what have we done? Of course, we have participated in the YOTAs, the nationals or international summer camps. We also arranged the YOTA 2018. I will talk a little bit more about that in a couple of minutes. And then we also arranged the December YOTA month camps, which were held in 2018 and 2019, and will be held in December 2020 if everything with a by this stage well-known virus goes well. So in the for the South Africa YOTA in 2018, we had 3 participants. This was Sierra Alpha 6 Bravo Echo Tango, Sierra Alpha 5 Oscar Delta Juliet, and Sierra Alpha 0 Bravo Sierra Juliet, which for normal people are known as Wilhelm, Oliver, and Joachim. For the 2019 summer camp in Bulgaria, the handsome lad on the left there, in the right picture, Sierra Alpha 7 Golf Oscar, and the Sierra Alpha 6 Bravo Echo Tango Wilhelm again joined, and that's about that what I could find on our cloud storage. And then we also had YOTA 2018, which was arranged by our Swedish youth team. We were active during 1 weekend for 4 days in former military fortress, 30 meters underground on the Hemsö Island, which is about in the middle of Sweden. And we had about 30 participants from Sweden and Finland. Also, the other Nordic countries, which are Norway, Denmark, and Iceland, were invited, but they could sadly they could not participate. So it was a Swedish and Finnish camp. I also put in some picture here. So on the left picture we can see the beautiful view in the direction in the general direction shown in the picture. You can find Finland if you look if you zoom in enough. And you zoom in over the sea. And then on the right picture, you have the dining table showing basically what we did most of the camp, because somehow when we meet, we tend not to do that much amateur radio. We rather sit down by a table and talk and converse, and suddenly we realize that, okay, here are 30 people sitting by a table discussing different technical and social stuff, and there is nobody by the radio. And actually, we think that's completely okay, because, of course, anybody who wants to sit by the radio can do it. And if you don't want to sit by the radio, maybe because you can sit by the radio all of the time by yourself at home, then you can sit by the table and discuss other stuff. People meet the other youngsters, which is at least, if not more important, at least just as important as doing the amateur radio stuff. At least we think. We also have a group picture on the left showing one of the showing the group in one of the tunnels. This fortress where we were contains of a house built inside the mountain, and to this house you go through a system of totally, I think, about 1 kilometer of tunnels. So to the right you can see one of the tunnels, or kulverts, as well. Then we also arranged the December YOTA month, and we arranged it with 3 camps per year during the past 2 years. Those are intended to be some kind of a small-scale radio weekend, not really a camp. So there is no fee to participate, and if you participate, actually the only thing that you have to do is pay your journey to the place where the camp is held. So therefore, we have those 3 camps where we can have one in south of Sweden, one in the middle, and one in the top. And we arranged those with like the deadline to participate is like some days before, so you don't really have to decide if you're coming or not until the week before, which gives more people the opportunity to actually just quickly plan in a weekend somewhere. And since Sweden is not that big, you can travel quite easily. So each year we had about 10 participants in total, which is not a lot, but it's at least something. And when you compare the participant density with the population density of Sweden, you will find out that actually that's quite good, because most radio amateurs live quite far from the cities, and it's quite natural to arrange these camps in the cities. So we also have some pictures from the last December YOTA month in 2019. Again, me and Wilhelm are posing, and to the right we can find Oliver, Sierra Alpha 5, Oscar Delta Juliet, and also Claudia, who is on this picture not Delta Charlie 2 Delta Lima, Charlie Lima. She is Sierra Alpha 5 Yankee Charlie Lima, even though she doesn't really confess it now, maybe. So we also have the pure educational part. Here we have Alexander, one of our SWLs in or shortwave listeners in Jönköping, and his call sign is Sierra Mike 78451, and here he is learning how to operate from the shortwave station, because in Sweden you can also operate from a club station if you are supervised by a radio amateur. And then to the far right, we also have a picture of me operating again. So now for the part, är det någon som har några frågor? Which is Swedish for any questions, but we hand those over to the next, to the official questions part, which should be held somewhere close in time.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much for the presentation. And now we move on to the questions. So, I had some questions before the presentation, so I could prepare some slides, and then we will answer some of the comments on the streams. Yeah, what if I do not know any other youngsters? How do I get started? The problem is that a lot of youngsters maybe know about the hobby from their parents, for example, but do not know any other youngsters. And the hobby is really the most fun when you can do it together with other young people. So it's important to get connected. But how do you get started? Believe me, most probably there are other youngsters out there. You just have to find them. Yeah, ask in your club, ask in your society. Maybe they can connect you to somebody. And if you really can't find anybody, then you can always contact me, trainthetrainer@hamyota.com, and I will try to put you in contact with other youngsters in your country or with the youth coordinator of your association. And yeah, once you know somebody, then your group will grow and grow. You get to know more people. And once you have a group, it's also easier to get youngsters who don't know amateur radio yet interested in the hobby. So yeah, if you need help, just contact me and I will try to connect you. So yeah, what kind of things do we talk about at the trainer workshops in the camps? There's really no like set definition of things we talk about. There's a lot of discussion. Everybody has different ideas, but we try to talk about the best ways to get youngsters interested. And that varies from country to country. How should a sub-regional camp be done to attract new youngsters? So now there have already been a few, well, actually quite a lot of different sub-regional camps. So those are smaller camps in YOTA. And how can we use those to get new youngsters interested? Yeah, another really important thing is how do we keep the youngsters who already are interested in the hobby or who maybe even already have a license? How do we keep them interested? How do we keep them connected? Because often it happens that you get the new youngster interested, they do the license, but afterwards there's no activities, they aren't connected to other youngsters and they lose interest. Sadly, it happens quite a lot, but what can we do to stop that? How can we keep them interested and connected? And there's always some great ideas from lots of different youngsters on what's the best way to do that. We also talk a lot about the different examinations in different countries. Some countries they have special youth licenses, which are a little bit easier. In other countries, it's very difficult to get a license, and we talk about how can we best prepare youngsters for the exams to get the license, to get a call sign. Yeah, those are challenges in different countries. And yeah, we generally discuss the challenges which we face. Every country has a different set of challenges. But we always talk about how can we overcome these challenges, how can we find solutions. And at the trainer sessions in the camps, there's always somebody who has an idea which worked in their country, which maybe could be applied in another country. And there's really no limit. We talk about anything and everything about amateur radio. So, do you want to find out more about Train the Trainer? Do you want to read some reports from different countries? Just go to our website, hamyota.com/trainthetrainer, TTT. Or you can just go to the HamYota website, and at the projects tab, you can find Train the Trainer as well. So the was an interesting point in the YouTube chat, I think. Somebody said that what was mentioned in the presentations, solering small kits, didn't work to get youngsters interested in amateur radio in their experience. And that's a very good point, because every country is different. You know, different youth teams have different interests. Different countries have different interests. In Bulgaria, for example, fox hunting, ARDF, is one of the biggest things amongst youngsters, and that's what they use to get youngsters interested in the hobby. In other countries, that doesn't work. So it really varies. And yeah, it's Train the Trainer is not about finding one solution which works for everybody. Train the Trainer doesn't say, okay, this is the way to do it. This is how you should do it. It's just about exchanging ideas. You try something, it works or it doesn't work. You try the next thing, and eventually you will find something which works. So, like it was mentioned in one of the presentations, going to technical universities, technical schools, there you use a different strategy to get youngsters interested than if you're trying to get younger people interested. If you're trying to get 12, 14-year-olds interested, then you will do different activities. So yeah, it varies, it's different, different challenges, different opportunities, and we just try to get ideas together, get some experiences together to find the best way to get some new youngsters. So I just have to read the question for 1 second.
Meanwhile, I can go over and remind you to the prize draw. Again, once more. So if you didn't participate yet, we still have the link to the Google form open. So register now, scan the QR code, or go to the chats on our live streams and see what we got there and register. So Monty, are you ready to go? Yes, again?
Perfect. Yeah.
Grab the screen.
So, you have my screen? Okay. Perfect. So, a question from somebody watching the live stream. How do we get OMs, older amateur radio people, to take the youngsters seriously, and how do we get them to support youngsters, and yeah, how do we show them that the youngsters contribute something to the hobby? I think that's a very good point, because yeah, the average age of amateur radio enthusiasts is quite high. And it's important to cooperate with your society, to work together with older hams, because they will also support you. There's some really great supportive OMs out there who are helping YOTA a lot, helping us financially, but also helping a lot with knowledge, which they're passing down to the next generation, so to say. But how can the youngsters show that we contribute something to the hobby? I think, like was mentioned before, there's a lot of really smart youngsters who want to do some more technical things, who want to try new technologies, research a little bit, play around with different types of digital modes, all of this kind of stuff. And they're pushing the limits of what amateur radio can do. So there's some really cool projects out there with SDRs and all these kind of things by youngsters who are pushing the edge of what is possible in amateur radio, and also just trying out new things, playing around, experimenting. And I think that is what amateur radio is all about having fun with the hobby, experimenting, trying out different things. And yeah, that's, I think, the best way to contribute to the hobby for everybody. And I think with that, if we have no more questions. Yeah, okay. Just one more thing. it was asked if the countries which presented before, Sweden and Algeria, could tell a little bit about how the number of youngsters increased over time, how they got more youngsters interested, how it was, and how many youngsters there are now. So maybe I hand over the microphone to Gustav.
Yeah, so just getting my microphone up here. Well, the thing is that, so I think that the main factor of getting more youngsters into the Amateur Radio Society of Sweden was that there was a project in Sundsvall in North Sweden that there is like basically a school where you can get the education to become, like, for example, firefighter and those works where you really need the radio. So therefore the Amateur Radio Society in that town decided that maybe we should have an amateur radio course for the ones in their last year. So they had an amateur radio course and licensed quite a lot of youngsters, and thereafter the youth section grew with like 30 people. That was the biggest step up, and else I think that quite many of those who are a part of the society are mostly children to radio amateurs. So the number 101 is basically just the amount of people paying each year. So yeah.
Okay, Mohammed, do you want to say something?
Yeah, actually, since August 2019 till let's say around March 2020, the number of youngsters have been multiplied by 20 in that little time span. Youngsters were around like 5 people, and now we are around 50 more. So the factor was quite high. And we are actually trying to achieve a bigger number. And I wanted to come back to that question of electronics and people get interested and not interested by amateur radio. But amateur radio is about electronics also. And if people get interested by that, all is good. At least they can do something they like. And let's not forget, amateur radio is a hobby. So if you are doing something not liking it, you'd better switch, try something else. That's my point of view. And if in our case, we don't have much people who are technical. So if we even get 1 million people to operate, if somebody cannot fix the antenna, then it's all useless, right? So microphone back to you.
So, Philip?
Yeah, I've got one more question regarding a bit the TTT topic. So
Yes.
somebody on YouTube asks, can I append /YOTA to my call sign when calling CQ, or are there any certain frequency places to meet other youngsters? Do you want to say something about this, or shall I?
I think you know more about this.
Okay, so normally YOTA, yeah, whatever is allowed in your country you can do, but we recommend to not overdo it, kind of. It is not wrong to do it if it's allowable with your local circumstances, but yeah, in the December YOTA month we will have YOTA special call signs where 31 days of activity will take place with special YOTA call signs. So you can always contact your national society and get on the air with a YOTA call sign there, or just call CQ YOTA, CQ youngsters, something like this, and then hopefully some youngsters will respond to you. So this question for now. Asking to our IT if we have any more questions regarding the train the trainer topic. Don't get any answer from them, so I think this is it for now. So we are going over to the followers question. Oops, not the prize draw. To the followers question, and I will hand over to Martina in the Czech Republic, as well as Ottawa in Finland. Go ahead.
Okay, so hi everyone. A few days ago, we gave you a chance to ask us, as before, as we did in season 1. We get some questions, so let's answer them. The first one was, can I participate if any YOTA activity if I'm not licensed yet? Definitely yes. We know that for some of you, it's just a matter of time to get your license done. But however, there is few points you should do before, and that you have to be a member of your national IARU member society. And you should also contact your youth coordinator, and then you can easily participate. If you have some problem with finding the right person, don't be scared, contact us. We'll give you the contact to them. Or also you can message us on PR email. So, Taba, tell us something more about the next question.
Okay, so the second question of the evening is, how can I personally support youngsters on the air and its activities? We try to have the lowest amount of money to pay for participants, so it wouldn't be about money for any of our participants of our activities or our camps. Big parts of our events are funded by IARU Region 1, but not all, and that's why I need your sponsorship. You can donate to the program at the link that you can now see on this slide, or you can buy our Youngsters on the Air merchandise at the link that you can also see on the slide, or you can become a sponsor of YOTA just by easily contacting us at beer@hamyota email, and we can figure out the plan to you or your company, and you can sponsor us. Also, you can, of course, contact your national society to help out with their YOTA teams, and that's how you can also help with the worldwide Youngsters on the Air.
Where can I find our young hams? I would say that we already answered something similar, but let's say it again. You can contact us. You can also find the people on TTT homepage. And we also know that some countries share their activities on their society's website, for example, Germany, Finland, or so Czech Republic. So yeah, that's everything I can say about this question.
And to the last question of today, where have all the Youngsters on the Air camps been taking place over the years since the start in 2011? In the first YOTA online event, we discovered that the first YOTA event ever, the summer camp, was in Romania 2011, and following that was Belgium and the Netherlands in 2012. Then the next one was in Estonia 2013, Finland 2014, Italy 2015, Austria 2016, Great Britain 2017, South Africa in 2018, Bulgaria in 2019, and now the next upcoming camp will be in Croatia in 2021, postponed due to COVID-19 situation now in the world. These were all the questions that we had for today, and now we'll get back to Monty and the prize draw. Thank you.
Okay, actually, we're getting back to Germany because we got one more question via the web. Some young lady asked us if we have like a brochure in English language where they can print, for handing them out when they do some kind of YOTA activities. So we have all the YOTA information in there. So basically, we have it. If you need it, if you want to print it, just send us an email to pr@ham-yota.com and we will send that to you afterwards. So let's get ready for the big prize draw tonight. So you should see my screen now. We had a lot of guys signing up for the prize draw today. So we will begin here with the first one. 1 second. There we go. So let's start with the slides. So 1 YOTA mug goes to Germany. Delta Lima 3 Juliet Oscar Papa. Congratulations on that. We will contact you on email and then we will do the rest on here. Another YOTA mug goes into the United States to Kilo Echo 8 Lima Quebec Radio. Congrats on this. Also get an email from us. Another YOTA mug goes to Iceland in the very far north of Europe. Tango Florida 2 Echo Queen. Also congrats here. Then the final prize, or one of the final prizes, 1 YOTA hoodie. Goes to Yankee United 3 Lima Alpha X-Ray in Serbia. Congrats on this. We will contact you. And as we had so many guys signing up for today, we decided to have another YOTA hoodie today. So Kilo Delta 9 Papa Delta Lima in the United States will get another YOTA hoodie for the big prize draw today. So these are our winners for tonight. We will contact you. Please respond in time so we can send the stuff over to you. So as we're coming towards the end of this session, I would like to mention upcoming events. So at first we have the YOTA summer camp in Region 2 in the Americas. This camp also had to be postponed to 2021, but they had a YOTA virtual day yesterday with all the participants live on YouTube. Meanwhile, they have been active as Whiskey 8 Yankee, which signs the youngsters, the youth, on the air activity there, Whiskey 8 Yankee, and they are on the air until tomorrow, Friday 26th of June. And afterwards, these youngsters will be active within the ARRL, which is the National Society in the US, in the ARRL Field Day Contest as a joint remote operation because they can't gather together. So they log in online and operate Whiskey 8 Yankee remote in the Field Day. And another cool thing which will happen soon is the YOTA at Hamradio online, because the Friedrichshafen Fair 2020, which is Europe's biggest fair regarding ham radio, is also cancelled or postponed to 2021. And we had the chance to pre-record a 1-hour meeting together with some friends from YOTA, and we are discussing some topics. This will take place on Saturday, upcoming Saturday, 27th of June, from 13 to 14 UTC time, so Universal Time Coordinated. It is in the annual International Youth Meeting style, so we are given an overview of the past YOTA activities since the last Ham Radio Fair 2019. So these are the events which are coming up. And of course, the next YOTA online session will be next month as well. So stay tuned for the date. We will announce soon. So we are coming over to the session closing. I would again thank everybody involved into this topic. Great thank you to our guests again, to Tunisia. Very great presentation from you. We will have even longer video from them online, where they describe a lot more stuff. Within the YouTube video, we will re-upload from today's stream. So be prepared for this and learn even more. Then thank you to Algeria. We will also re-upload the complete stuff without all the pauses we had to do because of the difficult technical stuff today. Sorry for that. And also thanks to Sweden. Gustav, very well done. Great events you're doing there in Sweden. So thanks again to Tunisia, Algeria, and Sweden. Everything all right with you and the TTT? Keep on the great process, and all the others. Thanks for taking part in the TTT worldwide. So in the end, there's only to say follow us on our profiles on social media. If you have any feedback, direct message us. We will have the email we will review the emails you will send us at pr@ham-yota.com. Follow us on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram, so that you never miss any news about YOTA. Thanks for tuning in tonight. And all I have to say now is 73s, which means greetings, and hope to see you later in the next session or on the bands on the air. Thank you. This was Philip, Delta Kilo 6 Sierra Papa from Germany, in behalf of the whole YOTA online team. Thank you for joining in tonight, and hope to catch you later. Bye-bye.